Do you love books? Do you love libraries? Do you love cats? If you do, that might mean The Starless Sea is the book for you. Also, if you're a Ravenclaw, you might want to stick around and see how I tie Ravenclaw to the Starless Sea. I do have one complaint though, one major complaint. For me personally, I'm probably the only person you'll hear this complaint in a book review. Honey. I hate honey, and I hate being sticky. That's all I'm going to say about that. The Starless Sea is more of a place than it is a book. It's the place in the hearts of those who love to read, those who love to fall completely into the world of the book that they're given. If you've ever loved that smell of old books, you'll understand what the Starless Sea is. The story itself begins with Zachary Ezra Rollins, who is a graduate studies student that is studying storytelling through video games for his thesis. During his research, Zachary comes across an untagged book. Nobody in the library knows where it came from or even who the author is. It's very old and falling apart. Zachary reads the book and becomes obsessed with knowing more about it. Who wrote it? Where did it come from? That is his driving force for the continuation of what happens next. As we develop this plot, we fall into the world of the Starless Sea. Exploring this world, Zachary is given a room, but every nook and cranny is filled with books from floor to ceiling. Books that could have existed, books that do exist, all kinds of books. Every book you could ever imagine is lining the walls and the hallways, your bedroom, everywhere there's books. And there's also cats. There are cats everywhere. I'm a cat lover, so books and cats, special place in my heart. That was all I needed to fall in love with this story. The main plot of the story is interrupted by smaller chapters that are stories from within this unusual book that Zachary has found. What do they have to do with anything else that's going on in the story? Because they don't seem to have any parallels. Eventually they do come together and we do understand what the purpose of these stories are and what they mean at the end. But you don't know that, and I can't tell you that. On our journey to the Starless Sea, we meet more characters. We have Kat, who is one of Zachary's friends from university, also studying her thesis in storytelling. We have Dorian, who is a masked figure that Zachary meets at a ball, trying to find out more information about this unusual book. And there's Mirabelle. She has pink hair, is a painter, and paints magical doors that are the entrance to the Starless Sea. Have I mentioned the cats? The cats are amazing. The cats have personalities. And the Collectors Club. Who are they? What do they want? And why are they after Zachary and Dorian? These things we don't know. There's so much about them that we just don't know. And that is one part where the story falls a little bit flat, is character development. The love story in this is a little hard to believe. It's insta-love with almost no connection between the characters. So there are some negatives to this. For the majority of this book, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what this book is. You don't know who's after Zachary. You don't know what the Starless Sea is or how to get there. There's so many whats and who's and how's, and just, it's almost frustrating because you want to know more, especially because the book is being interrupted by smaller side story chapters that are not related to each other, that are not related to the main plot of the story. You don't know why they're happening. With that being said, this book is something you have to experience. The world building is so much more important than the plot itself, but the plot is what gets you to the Starless Sea. So you have to experience that in order to experience the Starless Sea. And it's not something I can really describe to you without just saying you have to experience it. In all fairness, I know there are problems with this book. There are things that people are really going to love. There's going to be a lot that people hate. It just depends on what you want to get out of this story. Erin Morgenstern's prose speaks to me on so many levels. In The Night Circus, I had mentioned in my About Me video that she takes you on almost a musical journey. Her voice is so lyrical. In this, I feel the ebb and flow of the ocean. The way she writes is so unique. The worlds she creates are so unreal and amazing. I just want to leave what I'm doing right now and run away and join whatever side quest she's on. I would be so happy to fall into the Starless Sea, so happy to live in a world full of books and cats and tea and coffee and any dessert that you want. I mean, who wouldn't? It's just fantastic. So for all of that world building, I give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I'm pretty sure that's what I give it, but that's what I'm giving it right now. I really want to hear from you guys what you felt about the Starless Sea. Did the lack of character development, the lack of plot, the mystery that isn't fully resolved cut you off? Did those things turn you away from wanting to even finish the book? Or did you love it? Or were you like me and so in love with the Starless Sea that you wanted to be there and you didn't, the rest of it was just kind of meh there? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to discuss this. Today's project is the first one that I came up with when I was designing my channel. I knew I needed to do the Starless Sea and create a Ravenclaw scarf. Why? Because Kat, Zachary's friend, asks him for a favor, and in payment of this favor, she says she'll knit him a Ravenclaw scarf. I don't knit, I crochet, but watching me do that for hours on end is very boring because I'm very slow. So I will be sewing a scarf with this amazing faux sparkly Ravenclaw fabric. I also may have a little bit of a surprise to tie all of this back into the Starless Sea. Open crafting castle for business.
Strange, isn't it, to love a book when the words on the pages become so precious that they feel like part of your own history because they are. It's nice to finally have someone read stories I know so intimately.
Power down, crafting castle.
It is a sanctuary for story keepers and story lovers. They eat and sleep and dream surrounded by chronicles and histories and myths.
Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell to get notified whenever there's a new video.